It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl. The two teams you're about to meet have won once previously. Today's winner moves on to the elementary school semifinal round to play Rockledge. Let's meet today's teams. First from Cesar Chavez, would you say hello please to Jasmine Queen, Astrid Mendoza, and Emily Carcamo. And from James Harrison Elementary, here they are, Charles Amafo, Anthony Morales, and Jovan Watkins. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing, and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10. The tougher ones worth 15, 20, and 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. And at the end of the 2 rounds, one of these 2 very talented teams will come back to play Rockledge in our semifinals. So we have a lot at stake today. Astrid, nice to have you back. Try your red buzzer for me. Looks good, sounds good. You, Emily, and Jasmine, good luck in today's game. Anthony, buzzer please. Looks and sounds good as well. Charles, nice to have you on the set now. Jovan, welcome back. Guys, have a good game. All right, we are ready to begin our game. And any questions before we start? No penalties for incorrect answers. And again, today's winner goes on to the semifinals. All right, we go alphabetically, C before J. So Cesar Chavez, let's start this game. May the better team win. Astrid, please.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points to start our game. Teams, the minor league baseball team in Albuquerque, New Mexico is called the Albuquerque Isotopes. The same name is on The Simpsons, the Springfield Isotopes, because Albuquerque, like Springfield, has what nuclear connection as their main industry? Astrid.
Acid.
No, not acid. They're involved in nuclear what? In Springfield and Albuquerque, which is why they're called the Isotopes.
Toxic?
Nuclear energy. Nuclear energy. You know, that's where Homer works. He's always working with those things and not treating them very well. All those radioactive materials. All right, let's try again. Red?
Zoo Parade for 20.
Zoo Parade for 20 points. Teams in the new movie Paddington Bear. The actress Nicole Kidman plays an evil version of one of these people that stuffs dead animals and then displays them. Yeah, Anthony.
A hunter?
Not a hunter, good try. Someone who stuffs dead animals and then displays them is known as a what? What do you think, Astrid?
I'll pass it on to Jasmine.
Jasmine?
A slaughter?
No. Good try. A taxidermist. Taxidermy is when you go and you hunt something and then you take it in and then they mount it. They stuff it so that it looks real. Try again, Red.
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. There is a new best-selling children's book called The 14th Goldfish. It's about an elderly scientist who is able to revert to childhood by using the regenerative powers of this slimy, stinging cylindrate that lives in the ocean. Cesar Chavez.
Jellyfish?
Yeah, the jellyfish. It's a good book, too. Please read it. Go, Red.
Science Potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points is a visual question. Look at the monitor, everybody. Everybody plays Meet Disco Clam. This is a clam with, you see, all kinds of red feathers and kind of fluorescent mouth. That clam says, you come near me, anybody, and I'm going to shoot you with a jet of H2... Astrid?
Electricity.
Not electricity, nope. That clam is going to shoot out a jet of H2SO4, which is sulfuric acid, nitric acid, or hydrochloric acid.
Hydrochloric acid?
H2SO4. Sulfuric was the answer. Try again, red. Go, Astrid.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, we all know that chlorophyll is a green pigment. But xanthophyll is another colored pigment that is produced when carotene mixes with oxygen in a fall leaf and produces this color. Cesar Chavez.
Red.
No. James Harrison. Carotene mixes with oxygen to produce xanthophyll, which is what color?
Yellow.
Yellow-orange, absolutely right. Carotene. Carrot was your clue. Green, go.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams in the movie WALL-E. It took place on planet Earth that had been devastated. Everybody got all excited about finding a green plant, because what could that green plant do to save civilization? Chavez?
Produce oxygen.
Judges. Give me more.
Produce carbon dioxide.
Not quite, not quite. James Harrison, you have a chance to think about that. That green plant seemed to be the salvation of Earth in WALL-E, because what could it do?
It can reproduce and create oxygen for humans to breathe.
Not quite. No, the judges are... They can produce food. It can restart the food chain through photosynthesis, which is the making of food and oxygen. You danced around it, but we couldn't give you any points. Try again, green.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, if this canine is without its pack, that's the reason why sometimes criminals that are planning things all by themselves without anybody else knowing are known as lone whats? Cesar Chavez.
Wolf.
Wolves, a lone wolf, a canine without its pack. Good, go red.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, your question is as follows. If your teacher has a glass of water, puts in red food coloring, and puts in a stalk of celery, you'll be able to see that red color go right up that celery through the tiny tubes, which have what same name as the tiniest blood vessels? Astrid.
Veins.
Not veins. Good try. The tiniest blood vessels are known as these, James Harrison. Capillaries. Capillaries, the capillary tubing. Buzzer is rung. First round is over. Not many points awarded, but we'll be back with the second round of Science Bowl in a moment. Our score right now is 70 for Harrison, 70 for Chavez. We'll break that tie on the other side of the break. See you then.
Take a hike. That's actually a pretty good idea.
Because when you take us hiking,
or let us run outside,
acting silly,
getting dirty,
and helping in the garden,
you're not only making your day better,
you're making our lives healthier and happier.
Playing outside is not only fun,
it helps us feel our best inside and out.
So next time when Mom wants you to take a hike,
tell her to go to beoutthere.org to find fun ideas for helping kids enjoy the great outdoors.
Let's be honest, it's not bad for the parents either.
They're so cute at this age. Be out there!
Welcome back to Science Bowl. So nice to have you here today. We've got a tie score, 70 all. Before we ask any more scientific questions, a few personal ones. If you've not met these young people before when they were on our show, it's our pleasure to introduce them to you now. From Cesar Chavez, we welcome the ladies with the beautiful purple bows over there, the school color. And Astrid, tell us about Cesar Chavez. What is the best thing about your school?
The two-language.
Yeah, the
program.
bilingual program you've got there. Spanish immersion, yeah, half and half day English and half day Spanish. And your school is located over there in central portion of Prince George's County on Riggs Road.
Yes.
Very close to the mall at Prince George's over there, and it's a beautiful school. And your principal, I know he was here earlier, Mr. Taboada, outstanding role model, great principal. And you have sponsors on your team too, don't you? Who are they, Astrid?
Yes, Mrs. Quinones and Mrs. Quarles.
Wonderful. And both of them are here today, and they're so excited at your success and so proud of you. You're doing a nice job here today. Did you have an alternate on your team, Astrid?
Yes, Christine Herrera.
Wonderful. We'll bring her out in just a few moments with your sponsors and your principal. And someday, what do you aspire to do? Be a lawyer, right, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
Why the law?
Because sometimes you have to win arguments with logic, and I'm good in that, and also good at arguing.
That's wonderful. And logic is so important, yes, because you've got to kind of tell the story for a jury or a judge that makes some sense on behalf of your client there. So
Yes.
and you've got a very good head on your shoulders. I like how you play the game. You consult with Emily and Jasmine, and you're doing very well. Emily, nice to have you here today. Tell me about what you do in your spare time.
I enjoy dancing.
Yeah.
And I'm in a club at school that's Pride Dance.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So you like to dance, and I know you like to cook. You shared that with us before. And she has a wonderful interest, too, in forensics. You'd like to be like a forensics investigator someday, is that right?
Yep.
Yes, so you're going to have to be a good mathematician, and you're going to have to be a good observer. You know, you're going to have to look at clues everywhere and somehow try to piece them all together. How do you know so much science? Because you do.
Well, sometimes I just enjoy studying or looking up research. If I don't really know something, I sometimes look it up and then I gain new information.
Absolutely, yes. Our best teachers are ourselves, and if you use the internet and you're looking at resources, those are the things you're going to remember. So you're doing all the right things, Emily. And Jasmine, you're doing all the right things too. Young lady who wants to be a performer, and you've acted in some school plays, and you'd like to be an actress someday, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Are there actresses out there that you look at and you say, boy, I'd like to be like her?
No, not really.
No role models out there. Do you want to be a dramatic actress or a comedic actress? Do you want to make us laugh or do you want to make us cry? Or both? Both. All right, yeah. Be flexible. Directors like that. Good to have you back. Harrison, nice to have you guys here. First time we've ever seen you in 29 years. It's great to have you. You won your first game in grand style, and Anthony, you're back again. You're doing a super job. How do you know so much science?
I've been, Douglas got me into science in 4th grade. And so I started going on researching, reading books about stuff.
That's great. That's great. So you've been a good self-teacher as well, and you had a great motivator. James Harrison is up there in Laurel, Maryland, just off Larchdale Road there, close by Route 1 and Route 197. It's a small little school, but it's a good school, isn't it, Anthony?
Yeah.
Why is it such a good school?
The teachers help us so much. They really give us lots of courage to do our work.
Well, I like that word, courage, because you need courage and motivation in life. You know, you have to be told that, yeah, you can do this thing. Like today, like you're doing. You've never done this before, and you're showing that you're a quick learner. Who's your principal?
Dr. Williams.
Wonderful. And she's out there. And who's the sponsor? You have two sponsors, don't you? Who are they?
Miss Charles and Miss Jackson.
Wonderful. They'll be out in just a few moments. And did you have... Charles was an alternate before. Who's your alternate now?
Douglas.
Douglas. All right. He's out there in the wings. He's cheering all of you guys on. Anthony, keep up your good work. And you want to be a mechanical engineer someday, yeah?
If not, a video game designer.
Video game designer. And Jovan, you're interested in engineering too, are you not?
Yes.
And you also want to go to MIT. Are you guys kind of competing with each other over there to see who's the valedictorian going to be? I think it would be a tie because you go both great guys. Jovan, how'd you prepare for this game?
Well, I looked up a couple videos and then if when we're in school and our sponsor, Ms. Charles, we go to computer lab, look at videos, and answer the questions so we could like if we ever want to get to teams, we look at their strategies and try to find their weakness.
Boy, you're a good analyzer. You know strategies and weaknesses and preparation. You've done all the right things, and it shows because you're a really great student. So MIT and engineering, MIT and engineering. Douglas also is interested in MIT. Charles, are you going to go to MIT?
No.
Where are you going to go?
Johns Hopkins.
Johns Hopkins. What are you going to do there?
Be a heart surgeon.
Heart surgeon. How'd you get interested in that?
I just like to go inside bodies.
Yeah, well listen, you know, we're all kind of curious about what's inside there, you know, and that's why in high school we take apart frogs and fish and grasshoppers and things to learn how we work. So if things go wrong, we can make them better. All right, good to have you on the team. Let's get back to the game. 70 all. Harrison and Chavez. Last correct answer came from Chavez. So Astrid, start us out.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, if you're going to be moving to England and you have a dog, you can't take the dog in with you. It's going to stay in what kind of restricted Q-initialed area where they're going to make sure that it doesn't have rabies before they let it into the country. The dog is being kept in what, Astrid?
Oh, I pass it on to Jazz. Quarantine.
Quarantine, yes ma'am. Nice answer, Jasmine. The dog is quarantined for that period because there is no rabies in England, and it's not just by accident. Go Red.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline Science for 20 points. Teams, back in 1756, there was a book that came out called Astronomy Explained, all about an ancient Greek called Ptolemy who got it all wrong. Instead of the heliocentric version of the universe, he said that the planets did this. They did what, Cesar Chavez?
I'll pass it on to Jasmine.
What do you think, Jasmine?
They orbited.
I'm sorry?
Orbited.
Give me more.
They circled around the sun.
No. James Harrison, Ptolemy got it all wrong. He said that in the universe, the planets did what?
They orbited the Earth?
Yeah, they orbited the Earth instead of the planets orbiting the sun. Oh, you had it almost until that last word there, Astrid. Good comeback. Go, Anthony.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems, 15 points. Teams, if you get LASIK surgery, the doctor will literally reform your eye so that everything you see falls exactly on what screen at the back of your eye. What is that called, Anthony?
The retina, something like that.
Help him out, guys. Say it.
It's hard to pronounce.
Oh, not quite. Cesar Chavez, name that screen at the back of the eye where the image falls exactly.
The retina.
Retina, that's it. Sorry, Anthony. Astrid, go. Yes, ma'am.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, your question is as follows. You might have seen on the news that two guys recently did something that no one ever did. They climbed the face of El Capitan in Yosemite National Park all on their own. That big piece of granite that they climbed is what kind of I-initialed rock?
Igneous.
James Harrison?
Igneous.
Igneous, that's right. Yes, indeed. He jumped at that one. I like seeing you smile. Go, Anthony.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, the great illusionist Harry Houdini, who could get out of anything, died when he was doing a trick and he suffered from peritonitis because what organ attached to his large intestine that really has no function burst? Cesar Chavez.
Kidney.
Not the kidney, good try. What organ that has no use attached to your large intestine burst?
Guts?
The appendix. The appendix. Try again. Green. In a sense, his guts did explode. Go Green.
Zooparade for 10.
Zooparade for 10 points. Teams, bitrachean amphibians, that word means nothing to you or me, are amphibians like toads and frogs that seem to have run into the farmer's wife with a cleaver because they don't have any what? Cesar Chavez.
Lungs.
What? No, what did you say? Bones? Not bones.
No, I said lungs.
What'd you say?
Lungs.
Lungs, not lungs, nope. James Harrison, these bitrachean amphibians like toads and frogs look like they ran into the farmer's wife with a cleaver because they don't have what?
A neck.
No, no. Tails. Tails. Remember the farmer's wife cut off the 3 mice? You know, the 3 blind. Okay, try again, green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, this is rather disturbing. In China, they make medicine by using bears. They bleed this substance called bile juice that comes out of what green organ that we also have that produces bile juice? Name that organ for 20 points, Astrid.
Pancreas.
Good try, not pancreas. Name the organ, Anthony, the source of bile juice in bears and people. It's the gallbladder, the gallbladder. Try again, green.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, on July the 5th, if someone wishes you Happy Aphelion Day, they're celebrating the day when the Earth is the farthest from the what? Cesar Chavez.
Sun.
The sun, that's right. Okay, go red. 5 points behind, Astrid. Where?
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline science for 15 points. Teams, in 1954, the first successful transplant of an organ took place when one twin gave what nephritic organ to the other twin? Astrid?
Limb.
Not limb. No, what kind of nephritic organ did one twin give to his other twin?
Arm?
A kidney. A kidney. Organ transplant. You guys are not listening. Try again, red.
Science potpourri for 10.
Science potpourri for 10 points. Teams, the opposite of the steady state theory to explain the origin of the universe is this cosmic explosion theory. James Harrison.
The supernova?
Not the supernova. Good try. What is the cosmic explosion theory that explains the origin of the universe?
The black hole theory.
The Big Bang theory. Go red. Guys, you're blowing these easy ones. Go, Astrid.
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical for 25 points. Teams, Boyle's law in physics says that the less pressure there is, the greater the volume of the gas, and vice versa, but only if what variable stays the same. What variable has to stay the same for the pressure and the volume to be related that way? James Harrison. Come on, Charles, what do you want to say? Say it.
Dependent.
What?
Dependent variable?
Not dependent variable. Good try. What variable has to stay the same if the pressure gets larger or smaller, and that influences the volume?
The
correct answer is the temperature. Go red.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25 points. Teams, back in 1665, Roger Hooke was the first scientist to look through a microscope to see these cells that are found on the outermost portion of the bark of the tree. Those are the cork cells. Go red. You're still 5 points behind. We're running out of questions.
Zoo parade for 25.
Okay, zoo parade for 25 is a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. This beautiful creature is called a nautilus. It is the only member of its group that has a shell. Is the group that it belongs to the crustaceans, the cephalopods, or the copepods? The only one with a shell, Astrid.
Cephalopods.
Yeah, cephalopods. Okay. Okay, red, go.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25 points, teams. Before we people started drinking cow's milk, it was only babies that had the chemicals to digest the sugar in milk that had what L initial term that a lot of us are now intolerant of. Cesar Chavez?
Lactose.
Lactose, yeah, good. Go red.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Team, Sir Henry Cavendish was the first to study this gas, which he called inflammable air, because they used to put it inside blimps that caught on fire.
Helium.
Not helium. James Harrison. What gas is known as inflammable air because it burns? Hydrogen, yeah, good, go green.
Dateline Science for 25.
Dateline Science for 25 points. Teams, talk about a science fair project that paid off back in 1996. Sergey Brin and Larry Page came up with this as their science fair project, and today it is the most successful search engine on the internet. Cesar Chavez.
Google?
Yeah, Google. Good. Go.
Body systems for
what do you want?
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, the famous botanist Luther Burbank came up with a spineless version of this most prickly of plants. Cesar Chavez.
Cactus?
Yeah, a spineless cactus. Imagine that. Good, go.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, what S initial term describes anything that can excite a part of your body that leads to a reaction, like the smell of an apple pie, or the sound, or a sight? What S initial term describes all of those things, Astrid?
Sense.
Not a sense. Good try. Anthony, what S initial term describes the sight, or the sound, or the feel of something that causes a reaction?
A smell?
Good try. A stimulus was the right answer. Ooh, the buzzer has rung. Our game is over. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment. Don't go away.
How far would you go to help someone? Would you go to the end of your driveway? Would you cross a street? Would you cross an ocean? Would you go if you could use your knowledge to teach someone? And in the process, maybe learn something yourself. Life is calling. How far will you go? P-Score.
Thank you. What a hard-fought game this was. As we expected, 2 evenly matched teams, and they both did extremely well. We are proud of their efforts, and we got a few tears up here, but there shouldn't be any tears shed because they are all champions, each and every one of them. Our final tally is James Harrison 120, Cesar Chavez 185. The girls in purple, you're moving on. Jasmine and Astrid and Emily, and look at Christine back there. She does have the biggest smile of everybody. Miss Quinones and their principal, Mr. Toboada and Miss Quarles, thank you for all you've done. We're going to see you against Rockledge in the semifinals. And James Harrison, we hadn't seen you in 29 years, and what an impression you have made this year. You made it to this round. And Charles and Anthony and Jovan, don't you shed one tear over there. Let me see some big smiles. You brought a lot of pride to your school, and we loved having you here. Douglas, you're great. We loved having you on the team. And Miss Jackson, thank you for all you did. Thanks for putting Harrison on the map. And Dr. Williams, thank you for being here. We loved having you, and we hope to see you next time on the Science Bowl. Bye-bye for now.